threat even to the people they should be guarding. So if they don't have what they should have, why do you expect efficiency and effectiveness from them?
Okay, but for instance, now, I mean, yesterday we also highlighted the 2013 budget. So all of the budgetary allocations that are supposed to go to some of these institutions, now if that is not sorted out, how do they get funding to equip themselves and do some of those things? So aren't we back to the same challenge that we'll be facing?
Yeah, we're back to government again. You see,
these are institutions that are supposed to also...
If we are really serious with security, sincerely, we are really serious with security, we want to really deal with security, the funds that should go to police should not be debated at all.
Why not?
Oh, yes, because like one of your guests said yesterday, the money should be given to them and be monitored strictly to make sure that the money is used for the purpose for which it is meant. Up to buy the phones they will be using and all the kits and everything they will use. So this thing should be strictly monitored to make sure that these people have what they should have to be able to. For how long do we continue to waste the lives of our security men? And that's the height of. If security men are losing their lives, even up to soldiers losing their lives. So what is the worth of the life of ordinary human beings in Nigeria?
This is really worrisome and scary, because truly this is unprecedented. We haven't before now seen the amount of killings of our security operatives by those who call themselves Nigerians. But if you look at it away from training, which we'll still come back to, what about they talk about insurance? Because if you look at the headlines now, they say that the widows, they're complaining, talking about their husbands' entitlements. These are just the police officers' wives. Don't forget that we also have some of the SSS operatives who were also killed in some of these places. So those haven't even come to talk about the welfare and insurance of their own late husbands. So does it mean that as they complain on the pages of newspapers and on television, we don't have an insurance policy for these men who keep watch over the nation?
Thank you very much, Sulai. That reminds me of an incident. Actually, the life of a policeman to the government, to me, is somehow worthless. Now, because the moment they are killed or anything happens to them, I think they are given a few weeks or months for the family to pack out of the bags and all that. Inhumanity that is even visited on the family alone will make a policeman that is still serving to want to do anything, including cutting corners, to get money. Because they know that they are not catered for, their children, nobody will care for their children, even if they die in active service. Let me tell you a scenario. I was in a security meeting, annual security meeting in Philadelphia. Now, one of those guys who served in Iraq, okay, a soldier man, so was asked to be recognized. In fact, the guy was given a standing ovation by everybody present because he lost an arm in Iraq. He was recognized. People clap for him. They hail him. You understand? This alone will boost your morale. As somebody serving a country, you will be proud to say, oh, I'm an American, I serve American, I can even go back again to Iraq 100 times.
And even to board the aircraft, to add to it, you're given preference. The veterans, they take to the aircraft first before you.
Yes.
So, are you saying...
And their children are taken care of, the family taken care of. In fact, some of the children enjoy scholarship and all that. So when somebody does that, when serving a fatherland is entitled to all these things, you want to die for the country. Yes, yes. You want to die for his name to be written in gold and say, look, here lies somebody who did this, because the country is so conscious. One life of an American soldier, in fact, I don't need to quantify how America, rates its own people, especially those who serve in the army. But here in Nigeria, we all know what happened. That's why we always say that when our people, police and soldiers, when they go out there to keep peace, they are always at their best. Why not? They see others from other countries. They see the welfare package. They see how they enjoy and all that. So their morale is boosted. Yeah, but when they come back here, see all these things, deprivation here and there, of course, it lowers their morale.
In this case here, I mean, is the solution only going to come from top bottom?
Top bottom? Who appointed them in the first place?
In terms of waiting for one man to show.
Who employed them? Who employs them?
Isn't it the people?
The people should pay them. So you are using people now in such an amorphous...
I'm talking about in terms of what you say, giving direction, being strict and all of those. So should it be just from one man? Remember, you have the presidents, you have the governors, you have the state executives, you have all sorts and different categories of leadership.
Yes.
So how come they all shouldn't stand up at the same time and address this challenge?
Well, because the power to regulate the police is not in the hand of the state.
So that is key.
Oh my God, it's very key. It's very key.
But
we are not operating federalism. If we go back to real federalism that many of us have been clamoring for, then the state governor, who is supposed to be the executive and first security officer of the state, should be able to take care of the police.
We see what happens during elections. We see the interest, the attention that the governors exhibit during elections because they want to win.
Yes.
Do we see the same thing happening with security in the state?
Of course, we don't see that.
So the problem is why not?
Because the election, for instance, is centered on the individual because of their own selfish nature too. They want to win at all costs. Every security is centered on them, and they are bent on winning that election. So they do everything to make sure that the security is in the right position. But when they win the election, of course, the story changes. But again, you know that since it is self-centeredness, so they center everything on them. They can afford to spend all the money and everything necessary to get the police on their toe to work.
What about...
Remember, at that time, they are giving a kind of temporary, maybe leeway or authority to regulate the police that come to their state. But after then, something goes back to Abuja and say they lose the control. They lose the authority
are they really can, because I'm not sure they can move around during the elections.
You mean the police?
No, the governors.
Of course.
They can't move around.
They can't move around, but we know our system. If they don't move around, what they have in the pocket will move.
But what about the passion that we also adopt when we're going for elections? As people, individuals who go out to vote, do we also see do we bring in that same passion with this security matter?
It's not likely we'll be able to do that again because the people up to now have not had enough confidence in the police. They've not had enough confidence to be able to report imminent crime because of their own safety too. We've not had the kind of police that we can actually trust and say, okay, something is about to happen in my neighborhood. I suspect my neighbor. I suspect of course you'll be in for it. We don't need to inundate ourselves with all the story we've heard about.
But Prof, it didn't just start today. It looks like it's a accumulation of what has been happening over time in our country. Now it has gotten to a head.
Yes, it has got into a head because once a problem is burgeoning and nobody stems the tide, nobody cares to stop it midway, it will be escalating, like I say, it will be escalating. But now it's almost getting late, but then we can still do surgical operation because it's cancerous already, except we do surgical operation. And when you do surgical operation, it's a 50-50 chance for the individual. Okay? We have to do it. No matter who else is God, and that's exactly what I mean. The government must summon enough political courage to deal decisively with the root cause of this problem, no matter who else is God. And the question is the government ready to go the whole hog?
And you say it's apprehending those who...
Apprehending those, identifying first, then apprehending, then... the full weight of the law should be made to bear.
That will bring in the law enforcement and the judiciary again.
Yes.
And it will always go through the process.
Do you know something? Do you know something? A very pragmatic president who has the backing of the National Assembly can actually deal decisively with the judiciary. You see, though they work independently, they also work cooperatively. That's the simple definition. So a president that actually, who really wants to work, okay, without any political consideration for maybe coming back in 2015 or whatever. Don't let me hurt this segment. Don't let me rock the boat here so that 2015 I can come back. You really want to work and help your people. You can collaborate with the other arm of the government in order to rectify, through surgical operation, the other one that
would you advocate the use of force?
To deal with who now?
To deal with the insurgents.
Of course, you know, I've advocated that several times. If you identify that, because